Welcome back, everybody, to the Retrotainment Reel. The side show that we have off from Retrotainment Recast, and on the slab even. We're all part of that family. So we're back on with another show, and it's my turn to choose a topic that we're gonna see which is the best of, and it's tonight is a very good one. I think it's a really cool one. It's going to be iconic screen cars. So from TV and film and movies. So, but tonight let's introduce the lads. We have good guy Ted up there. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm good, yeah. Always the good guy when it comes to these voting things, which is a big throwback to where we met Carl Sherlock from originally when he had his own show, which was the Sherlock reel. I would always be the good guy, unless there was the odd times I had to break up a dodgy vote and give the right vote, but I was always the good guy.
The moniker is real.
It was.
G-Man, how's tricks?
What's happening, bro?
All good, all good. Me and you have been in a state of flux the minute with moving, haven't we?
I don't wish moving on my worst enemy. It's just disastrous.
Yeah, we seem to be doing okay though, don't we?
Not bad, not bad. Get settled, all in, let's go.
Absolutely, yeah. So listen, as we do, we pick 32 names as it is from this particular topic, and we make it into a tournament. 32 down to 16, 16 down to 8, 4, 2, etc. That kind of stuff. So we'll vote on, and just before we go on, I mean, do you want to go on memorability, or what way do you want to go on like this?
What do you mean?
So I don't know because I don't know. Neither me or Greg know the list. So just a little background information. When one of us is making a list, we kind of rotate between us who's going to do what. Around certain times, the topic presents itself. Obviously, next month we're going to be doing something to do with Christmas. Last month we did something to do with horror, due to Halloween and stuff. So certain times of the year are going to present very specific sort of topics, but they obviously run out quite quickly as well. And the rest of the year, it's just whatever topic we feel would be enjoyable. But the person who makes the list doesn't share the list with us before, so we actually have no idea what cars are going to be on the list. We'll have guesses and things like that. I assume this is going to be there. I assume that's going to be there.
Yeah.
But I was saying to Greg, I didn't know what way you were going to go. So if you were doing things like, say, the DeLorean, right, from Back to the Future, that can travel back in time. Are you taking into account, is it the car? Is it just a car? Or are we taking into account everything the car can do? So like the Batmobile would have all, like if you're picking the Batmobile, does it have all of its gadgets? If you're picking the DeLorean, can it go back in time? All of that stuff. Or are we just going, like
look
car?
I suppose, what about what car brings back the most memories for you, maybe? Or, like the best positive memories of a film, or, something like that, maybe? I don't know.
Iconic stature, maybe.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, I think there'll be different things, and I suppose that's where the fun in,
Well,
the debate of what it is.
Let's get started then, and we'll see how we go with it. And
11.
Shut up, you. Right, so as I said, I have already done out this draw, and I did subsequent draws as well. So the first one is the 1986 Ferrari Testarossa from Miami Vice. Do you remember that one, the white one?
Yeah, I remember.
Don Johnson.
Yes, and that is going up against the 1984 customized Ford van from Dumb and Dumber. The Mutz Cuts. Nice one to start off.
No, it's simple, really. It's got to be Ferrari for me.
Yeah, I think you have to go to the Miami Vice. So like the car from Dumb and Dumber is iconic. It's iconic in the sense of, man, that's so fucking crazy. But if somebody walked up to me and was like, you can have one of these two cars, I would not be taking the Dumb and Dumber car.
And that scene in Dumb and Dumber where he goes over the little hill and just pops down and the ears move.
I'd love the novelty of that, but
yeah,
that would be your novelty car. You'd want to have your real car and your novelty car.
But to have a Ferrari over that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Testarossas were my favorite cars as a kid, like, you know. Right, so there's the
I,
four.
I'm
That was
putting this out now that if my favorite car is not in this list,
it's
this
not.
show is gone.
Right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So the second one is the GMC Vanduta, which is the A-Team van.
Oh yeah.
Okay, pretty cool
And
van.
that is going up against, a 1989 Chevrolet Lumina 234, which was from Days of Thunder. Remember the one that Tom Cruise was in?
The stock car. See,
Hmm.
interesting.
I'll go first on this one because I actually don't think I've seen that film. So
Okay.
this one's an easy vote for me because I can't judge on the car. I have no affiliation to that car. So I'm going to go the
Right.
A-Team van. Only because I have no affiliation to the car in the other film. It could be a way better car, but I have no idea.
Well, and that's the way to play it then. But that's a great film, Days of Thunder, man. I'm
Well, if
surprised
you
you
haven't
haven't
seen
seen it.
Days on get on that, that's awesome.
It's brilliant. Michael
It's,
Rooker is deadly in it as well.
it's on the list. The list just is incredibly long.
That
of
list is
things.
endless.
Yeah, there's just constantly things being added to it.
Jesus. The A-Team van.
Has
The
to
only
be.
problem with taking the A-Team van is you might not be able to find them.
Well, I assume that I'm part of the A-Team if
If you're in that van.
yeah, like if I'm getting the van, I'm part of the crew. Like even if I'm just driving it, I'm part of the crew, you know?
Maybe if you can find them, you can hire the A-Team. 100%.
Yeah,
A-Team.
absolutely.
All
So
in.
we're getting an idea of where we're going with this. So, so the next one is, yeah. Oh, well, no, I think I know the way this is going to go. The 1981 DeLorean, which is Back to the Future. And Herbie the Love Bug from Herbie Rides Again and all, the little Volkswagen.
This is where you're looking at it then, right? Well, obviously, everyone knows the iconic stature of the DeLorean, but in terms of a car, it was a piece of junk.
It was, yeah.
An absolute out and out piece of junk where the Volkswagen Beetle would go forever.
See,
I suppose.
this is where the argument of what I was saying earlier is, right? So the DeLorean, you can travel back in time. Herbie can drive itself.
You're just stuck in the 50s.
Well, like you are and you aren't because you had Herbie Fully Loaded, which was
That's right,
mid 2000s as well.
Lindsay Lohan.
I'm going to say mid 2000s because I think that's when Lindsay Lohan was at the peak of her powers.
It was 04, 05, something like that.
It was after Mean Girls, I think, anyway, which is quality film. But yeah, it's somewhere around there. But it's a car that can drive itself, so both have got powers. You know what I mean?
I think look wise, you're going DeLorean all day.
Yeah.
Drive wise, you're gonna go Herbie, but I think for the iconic look, I'm going the DeLorean, and the fact that it was made on the island of Ireland. Might have been made in the north, but
yeah. What do you think,
DeLorean
Ted?
for me?
I think I'm going DeLorean here as well. The iconic door, the iconic doors of it. Just I don't care that the car isn't like when I see it, like you see the odd DeLorean around Dublin.
There's one in Bray.
Yeah, I was going to say you see one in Bray every once in a while as well, and even when you see it, it's like, man, what a cool
badass. Yeah.
What a cool looking car. Like and like don't get me wrong, I love a little Volkswagen Beetle and stuff, but fuck it, yeah, there's no.
I think there's other cars in this list that Herbie might have beaten out, but
well, that's the luck of the draw. Unfortunately, sometimes you get an easy round one, sometimes you don't.
That's it. Oh, next one. So it's a Ferrari 308 GTS, which was Magnum PI's Ferrari, the red one. You remember that one, lads? Yeah.
Tom Selleck.
Yeah, Tom Selleck. Yeah.
Tom Selleck. It's going up against the 1970 Dodge Charger from Fast and the Furious.
Oh, give me Dom. Give me Dom all day.
What do you think, Ted?
Yeah, I think it's the Dodge. Yeah.
The supercharger with the exhaust hanging out the top of the engine. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
See, there's a bit of a harshness there because that Ferrari back in the day was the epitome was the epitome of cool. Like, do you know what I mean?
Overall, it's probably still a better car, but I think, as I said, I've gone off iconic looks a few times. That Dodge Charger is just
it's badass, isn't it?
I actually don't know. Just thinking of that Ferrari. I'm going to put my vote there just to put it to King to make the deciding vote, because I actually think you have to take into account the difference in time. Yeah, like that Ferrari back then was the
when you think about it,
epitome.
there probably wasn't much. What was it, 1980?
No, yeah, no.
70s.
Well, Magnum was the 80s, yeah.
But the car, I
What
think.
year's the
car
car?
was, I think it's 1980. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
it might be 80. Yeah.
the Charger is
it's
the 70s.
1970s. Yeah,
So it wouldn't be too dissimilar.
Yeah, true.
It just
Actually,
depends on what you wanted, whether it
What you'd
was
want.
speed or power.
yeah.
yeah, true. I'll leave it to King to make the deciding vote, though.
Right. Okay. Well, like I said, I do love Ferraris, but in the last, like as I got a bit older, I start really, really liking muscle cars. So I'm gonna go with Dom's right on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the muscle car, it's a very good look, the muscle car as well, to be fair.
Oh yeah.
And the best thing the Fast and the Furious done was made it black.
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. That's a good one. Okay. So next one is the Mini Cooper from the Italian Job.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know that. Against a 1949 Mercury, which was the one that James Dean drove in Rebel Without a Cause, if you remember that one. It's a big fucking
It's
huge
it's like the one in Greece, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I think it's got to be the Cooper for me. I'm not too familiar with the other one. I've seen the movie once.
Yeah, that's cool. Ted?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cooper as well. I love a little Mini Cooper. I don't know why, because they're not like super efficient in terms of like giving people a lift or anything like that.
But they are iconic from that film. Jesus.
Not even just from that film, like just the look of them as well. Like they're just so
until they were taken over by
yeah, they look like dog shit now. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but they're back in the day now.
with the stripes over the hood. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Deadly. Right, so next up we're going to
Now hang on. I want to ask that before we go on. Does the Mini Cooper come with the 37,000 gold bricks in the back?
One of them does. You have to pick the right one.
Oh, that makes it a lot more valuable as a car as well.
It wins. Next up, we have the 1961 Ferrari 250 GT Spider, which was the one that Ferris Bueller rode.
Oh, Cameron's dad's car.
That's
They
the
put
one.
in reverse.
I don't know how you're going to go with this one, actually, but let me see. No, yeah, the 1974 Dodge Monaco, which was the Blues Brothers vehicle.
Ooh.
I'll go first, and I'm gonna put the vote definitely one way, because I think if it got beaten on a clean sweep, we'd have a very upset member of the team. So I'm gonna give one to Ferris Bueller, to the car, because I think Sherlock would honestly just never come back. I think he'd never come back if it didn't at least get one vote. And I do think it's a fucking brilliant car as well, to be fair.
Yeah, man.
A half a pack of cigarettes, 108 miles to go. We're wearing sunglasses and it's nighttime. Give me the Blues Brothers all day, baby.
You're bringing it back to me, are you? Okay.
It was never going to go any other way, even if Ted had went Blues Brothers.
So I wasn't a huge fan of Blues Brothers, believe it or not. But I do like the whole chase scene through the fucking shopping mall and all. I think that's brilliant.
Gas.
I'm gonna go with Blues Brothers. I'm gonna go with Dodge Monaco for that one. Again, I've no real affiliation to either of them, so
Sherlock is not talking to use.
Well, he could have come on and fought the corner for them.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered, because if Sherlock and Ted had went that way, it would have been game over anyway.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Now I will say that obviously, I don't want to vote based solely on like film or TV show either. I am I'm trying to use the car as well. It just so happens that the cars have all been like really top notch that have come up
Savage.
so far. It's not like yeah,
Give
I
us
know
a
I
shit
used
car.
I voted the A team because I hadn't seen the other film, which I will continue to do. But if
That's
I've
what we
seen
do
both,
anyway.
yeah, that if I've seen both, I'm gonna kind of just go to. I'm trying not to let the films sway me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. Right, next up, I don't know how he's going to go with this one actually. You have the Tumbler Batmobile.
Which Keaton's one?
No, the Tumbler, which was the first from that.
Oh, Adam West one.
No, Christian Bale. The one from Dark Knight Rises.
The one that could flip over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was it
sorry,
Come in
yeah.
Black? Yeah, not that one.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one. I liked that
Yeah.
one.
And then we're going with the 1967 Ford Mustang GT500 from
Ah.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
All day, every day. I named my first child after that car.
So Ted,
It's a far better car, to be honest. And it's worth millions.
yeah,
And there's one in Arklow.
and it's not yours.
No,
I
because
could
he doesn't
boost
have a
it.
million. You couldn't. You're shite booster.
Just try.
I'd say if you even looked at that car funny, the owner would be out ready to batter you.
What are you going with, Ted?
Just to annoy Greg, I'm going to give one to the Batmobile and then leave it to you, King. Just to see which way you go here.
Okay. I mean the tumbler looks badass, but like
Does it come in black?
yeah.
Yes, it does come in black.
I'm my favorite car of all time is a Ford Mustang, so and that one in Gone in 60 Seconds is class. So I'm gonna go with the Mustang on that one, which I'm surprised at because I'm a Batman freak, you know what I mean? But
It's probably the worst of the Batmobiles, really. Though.
yeah.
I mean, the fact that it can go upside down and keep driving is pretty badass. And it's got all that shit ton of weapons on it. That's pretty cool.
It's no Keaton's Batman, though. Or Keaton's Batmobile.
Keaton's Batmobile. Well,
that had armor plated things that just popped up out of nowhere.
that's my favorite Batmobile. It really is. Right, so that was the Mustang. Yeah. So next up we have the old General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard.
This is me and Ted were talking about this off screen. We were like, wonder will it go in it? Will it make it?
Of course, another Dodge Charger. Again, now I don't. I'm assuming Sherlock would have went for this one now. The 1976 Lotus Esprit from The Spy Who Loved Me. You know the one that can go underwater, the white one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Roger Moore's one.
That's the one. Yeah, I used to have a little car that I loved it.
Oh.
It's a tough one, actually.
See, I'm not a huge James Bond fan.
And
I loved obviously Sean William Scott's Dukes of Hazzard. It's not as poor as it was received. That's what got me going back to watch the old ones. It's got to be the General for me. It even has a Johnny Cash wrote a song about it.
That's right. Yeah. Ted?
This is a tough one as well, but I think Dukes of Hazzard's car is the correct answer here.
With the flag on the top.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit about the flag, but it's an iconic look. I'll give it that. I don't give a shit about that flag being on top of it.
No, but that's what I mean. It's just part of the look.
It's just it's an iconic look. Yeah.
Give me a lovely Irish flag up there now.
Imagine.
Wouldn't just paint half the front car, the front of it green, the middle of it white.
But just I feel like there's going to be more James Bond cars on the list, and there's other ones that I would prefer over that. Although I did like that car looked cool as fuck when it went underwater.
It was white as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
White, and it grew little fins out of the side of it. Brilliant. And the wheels like tucked up into it.
Under, yeah.
It looked deadly, but it wasn't iconic in the sense that they didn't continue using it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was kind of like a once-off, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, they used it and it was cool, but it's not like when you think James Bond, there's a different car that I think when someone says James Bond car. That's not it.
Is it the silver Aston Martin from Die Another Day? The one that he drives on the ice?
it's not necessarily the silver Aston Martin. I think it's just an Aston Martin
Aston Martin.
in general. Like that's the car the car model I associate with Bond. Like,
That's fair. Right, so that's the first half of that first round done. We're going to the second half now. So,
Grand, we're a second half team, lads.
right, so this will be an interesting one, actually. We're going with the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo.
it's going to be hard to
No.
beat this.
Well, we'll see. It's the 1955 Ford Lincoln Futura concept car, which was the Batmobile from the Adam West Batman, from the original one.
No, give me the Mystery Machine all day.
Really?
Mystery
Mystery
Machine.
all day, yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
That went actually a lot easier than I thought when you said
Yeah.
Batmobile. I was like,
Now, I love that Adam West Batmobile. I do
Yeah.
think it looks fucking amazing. But that Adam West Batman is 60s.
Yeah.
And as much as I used to watch it when I'd go down to my granny's and like my uncle would have it on, and as much as I enjoyed that, I've enjoyed Scooby-Doo for so much of my life, and even now, if Scooby-Doo pops up, if I was flicking through the channels and it was there's a Scooby-Doo starting or a 1960s Adam West Batman starting,
Yeah.
I'd be
That's
like, I think I'll leave that Scooby-Doo on.
like, you know how iconic Scooby-Doo is. So, like, obviously my kids are 7 and 4. They watch it, and then Annie says, but their granddad will sit and watch it with them because he loved Scooby-Doo when he was younger.
Yeah, it's
a
mad.
generational thing, yeah.
I don't know, like the one that I watched. So I assume probably the same one that you would have watched when you were younger, Greg. That's the one from like years ago. Those drawings. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't watching the ones that were created in like in the 90s because those weren't the ones on the telly. It
Yeah,
was
we
the
never
ones from,
got them. Yeah,
Yeah, they were.
We always got the reruns from the 70s.
We got the proper Hanna-Barbera or
Hanna-Barbera, yeah.
And it looks the drawings are so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously Scooby-Doo then signed the deal with WWE and stuff.
Oh, they've been everywhere, and then obviously the brilliant films as well, the live action films.
Just before we get onto it, how fucking good was that casting for the live action?
Very good.
Brilliant, yeah.
As live actions go, yeah, it was probably the best one.
The worst casting in it is actually probably Velma,
because she's too good looking.
Yeah, like she's meant to be super dorky, and she's just not that dorky.
Good Lord, no.
But yeah, Mystery Machine all day.
Okay, that's a good, yeah. Okay. Next, we have the customized 1974 Ford Falcon Interceptor from Mad Max.
Ooh.
And that is going up against I made a mistake there. Fuck. I don't know. Sorry about this, lad. I put down the Ferrari again from Miami Voice. I thought I had a different one in there.
Is it the new Ferrari they used in Colin Farrell's one?
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. Give me the Ford Falcon any day.
I was gonna say, well, we already have one of them in, so I'm gonna go to the Ford Falcon.
Sorry about that. I should have actually, meant that like a note for myself. So yeah, Ford, I love that Mad Max car.
That again has that supercharger exhaust thing in the middle.
Your big issue with that is that you might run out of petrol because it's the one from Mad Max. It's a scarce resource. That's gonna be the issue with that one.
It'll outrun anything though.
As long as that's the petrol.
Well, we'll assume it does for this competition.
See how far it
goes. Well, it has the petrol now, but will it have the petrol when it comes to the latter parts of the race? Yeah.
All right. So the 1977 Pontiac Trans Am Special Edition from Smokey and the Bandit, or the 1989 Batmobile. Let me see. Yeah, you couldn't go against that, really.
That was Keaton's one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only one they used twice as well, I think.
I think you're right, yeah.
Kilmer had a different one. Clooney had a different one. Bale had a different one in all three.
Affleck has a different one.
I think Bale's one is kind of an upgraded version, though. It's not like it's a complete, it's just an upgraded version of the car he did have. Do you know what I mean?
I thought the roller was it's a completely different car.
I don't know. I can't remember I thought it was just that they upgraded the car, and then he kept giving it to Lucius Fox, and Lucius Fox would upgrade it.
Does it come in black?
Right. Next up, we have the Aston Martin DBS from Goldfinger,
Oh,
or the 1958 Plymouth Fury from Christine.
yeah. Bond again. This is one of the more iconic cars, though.
Yeah.
And this is the iconic picture you get with him standing in front of it with the white jacket on.
That's the one.
Yeah, and then they used it again, I think, in one of Daniel Craig's Bonds. I can't remember which one though.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they broke it out again where at one point in that. It might not have been the same one, it might have been a newer version, but it's the same build. Do you know what I mean?
Same style, yeah.
Christine. Oh, weird that me and Ian were only talking about this earlier. I'm gonna have to go Bond.
Yeah. Okay.
Christine will fuck you up though.
That's the thing. Christine is more likely to fuck me up than it is. You know.
Ironic said that you just moved there. That's Christine car over your shoulder there. If I'm not mistaken.
No,
other way.
This way.
There
no,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is. I'm not 100%.
Or it's a version of it anyway.
It's a similar version. Yeah, I'd go the Aston Martin as well. I think that's the iconic car that I associate with Bond, and I think it deserves to move past the first round.
I agree.
Christine, tough on it though. Could have got a lot of those and went through.
Christine wasn't trying to kill me so much, maybe.
She was been nice to you for a change.
Yeah, if the car wasn't trying to kill me and everyone around, maybe it would have got a bit further.
Right, next one. We have the Mirthmobile, which was Wayne's World, the iconic headbanging car. Or we have, I think I know where this is gonna go. 1993 Toyota MK4 Supra from Fast and Furious, Paul Walker's
The
car.
green one?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
From the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the green one from Fast and Furious for me, I think.
Probably. I like it. I do, but it's only because it was going up against Wayne's World one.
Yeah.
If I had got anything else, it would have been going on its ear.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, it's better than the Wayne's World car. Do you know what I mean? The Wayne's World car is more like they were real
Funny.
goofy and dumb, like, and that car suited them. Like if they were in something like an Aston Martin, you'd have been like, hang on now, that's fucking.
It fit the movie perfectly, though.
Yeah, it fits very well in there. It's like a piece of junk car, but
Well, I had to go in. I had to put it in.
Oh no, it definitely deserves its spot on the list. I'm just saying when it comes up against like even Paul Walker's car, which I don't think is amazing. It's not going to beat that. Like it would have needed to come up against something like
Herbie
or Chitty Bang Bang or something.
Herbie or like the van from
A-Team.
No, not A-Team. It would have got crushed by that. No, the van from Dumb and Dumber, like something like that. It has to come up against something like that. It wasn't going to be something big, like.
Right. I'm just looking at how the second round is filling out.
I'm not liking the thoughts of the second round already.
It's gonna be fun. Next up, Chitty Bang Bang against
the other one.
The 1969 Mustang from John Wick.
The other one.
John Wick.
Yeah.
That car is fucking. I only rewatched the first John Wick there recently.
Brilliant film. I love it.
Why'd they kill the dog, man? Why you gotta do that?
That is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Such a baddie. Really don't like that in the film. Everything else about the film is incredible, but they could have left that scene out.
This could be a tough one, lads. It's the 1975 Ford Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch against Kit from Knight Rider.
So, Kit is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
That 75 Gran Torino is the same Gran Torino I think that Clint Eastwood has in Gran Torino.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just phenomenal. That's where my vote's going. That Gran Torino is a thing of beauty.
Absolutely, I agree.
Hmm.
What about you,
Yeah.
Ted?
Kit, yeah, I think, car that can talk to you and do all that mad shit.
So you went for Kit, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Well, I have to go for Gran Torino because I love that Gran Torino. Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
no.
I do love Kit as well, but in terms of that now.
Yeah, see, this is what I was saying. Do you take into account all the stuff the car can do? Because like that Gran Torino car, brilliant car. But if you've got a car like Kit that can do all the shit the Kit can do, and you were given the option of you can have one and one can actually do that, that's what I was saying earlier. Do we take into account the stuff it can do?
As soon as you take into account stuff that it can do, you kind of have to look at one of the Batmobiles, really, and that's it.
And then it's game over, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Ecto 1, maybe, that obviously we haven't seen yet, but I'm imagining it's going to make the list somewhere along the way.
Well, we've one more matchup in this first round.
There's only one left, is there?
Yeah, and that's the 1968 Ford Mustang Fastback from Bullet. Or Ecto 1. That's the way it drew out, yeah.
Ecto 1, yeah.
That Mustang from Bullet is unreal with Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's like, if that had met nearly anything else that got knocked out.
Ecto 1 is a firm favourite on all of our shows, so I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
So we have the second round, actually. So the second round is already done. Because as we were talking, I've been filling them out.
That's the right way to do it.
Absolutely. So, second round. We start second round, Jen?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, this is going to be fun. Ecto 1.
I want to put in a letter of complaint.
What's
Jeepers Creepers Super Truck didn't make it in.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can do that for the next time.
Lightning McQueen also didn't make it in.
We can involve like cartoons and stuff next time.
Some bullshit. It even has a personalized license plate and you didn't put it in.
I know, yeah. Well,
it's 64 James Bond cars made it in.
Of course. And so,
two Miami voices.
So anyway, look, second round, Ecto 1 is going up against Ford Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Nah, give Ford Mustang all day.
I'll give the vote to Ecto 1. I won't see it get beaten out.
I imagine Ecto 1's going to go through here.
I don't think so. King said it earlier that's one of his favorite cars. So
it's one of my favorite cars, but I absolutely fucking adore Ecto 1. So I'm gonna go with Ecto 1.
Yeah, I figured that's where it was going. There's no way it was going out 3-0.
No.
And it's going to take something amazing to twist my vote. But how did they match up?
What do you mean? How did they match up? So what I did? Are you talking about how did I do the draw?
Oh, you've randomly drawn the second one.
Yeah, so I had randomly drawn, say, winner 1 versus winner 6. Winner.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So I don't even know.
Because when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it's grand. The Shelby GT's on the other side to certain things.
I didn't want stuff like that to happen, so.
So now we're completely out of the range that we don't know what's getting what.
Yeah.
Now this couldn't have went better. The Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious against the Toyota Supra from Fast and Furious.
Charger.
And I'll be going for the one that wins, Fast and the Furious.
Absolutely.
The only one that actually survives.
Yeah.
Because it's family.
Family. Right.
And by survives, I didn't mean that about Paul Walker. I meant about the car that has survived past the first one.
You're the one that brought that up. Don't say that.
Well, right. I mean, look, listen, all I'm saying is the technology is there to put Paul Walker back in that film.
Yeah, it's called his brother.
Ghostbusters did it, and they didn't. They had the option.
That's all they're short of now. How many films is that now?
10.
76 or something.
Then consider the last one was called Fast X.
Right. So the Van Duta, which is the 18 van, against the Ferrari from Miami Vice.
A-Team. Wait, which Miami Vice?
Oh, yeah, sorry, the one with Don Johnson.
Oh,
I'm gonna say the one with Don Johnson. The
Miami
18 van,
Vice, yeah.
the 18 van is very, very nice. But I don't think it's a particularly incredible van either.
It just seems to do everything, doesn't it? Yeah, no, Miami Vice.
Super.
If it had been the other, oh no, sure, the other one didn't get through, didn't it?
No, the other one got beaten out pretty handily.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Miami Vice.
Cool. That's a good one. We now have the DeLorean versus the Ford Gran Torino from Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, give me the Gran Torino.
I'm going to say DeLorean. As I said earlier, just the look of it.
The doors.
Not just the doors, just the shape, everything about it. When I see it, I'm like, oh man, that is such a fucking cool car. Like it just
made of stainless steel or something.
Like don't get me wrong. I know in terms of an actual driving the car, it has a lot of problems. It's it's not considered a very good car at all. But in terms of the look of the car and how iconic it is, yeah, for me, it's definitely a DeLorean.
Yeah, I think for the whole kind of vibe of what we're doing, and like nostalgia for us is a big thing when we do stuff like this as well. I think DeLorean always gives me better memories, like watching films. So
just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, do it. Although that is good.
For me, it's more if I was walking down if I was walking down the street and both of those cars were, like there's one that would, draw my attention, and it is the DeLorean. Whether it's a piece of shit car or not doesn't matter. It looks so fucking good, like.
Class looking, and then of course in the third one it can fly, and it's from the second
the
one.
First one it can fly.
You know what I mean? They only see it kind of in the second one, like at the end of it. Right, so we have the Aston Martin DBS from Goldfinger against the 1969 Mustang from John Wick.
Oh, it's got to be the Aston Martin here.
Oh, I'm gonna go to John Wick one. I love that car in John Wick. I think it looks fucking deadly. But I won't be sad. Like I can't be upset if it gets beaten out by that Aston Martin.
The only thing I can say is that, like, if you asked me to pick one that I'd owned, I'd take the Mustang. But in terms of movie iconicness, that Aston Martin is like if you showed 100 people a picture of both, how many are gonna know that it's the John Wick car?
Exactly.
Yeah, true. I guess as I said earlier, I'm trying not to base it too much on solely like which film I enjoyed more, because then it just comes down to what film do I like more than the other. I'm trying to go by look as well, because the truth is I'll never know how any of these cars actually feel to drive, because none of us are not that never, but the likelihood of me ever driving any of those cars, or any of us ever driving any of those cars, is slim to none,
and
right?
And the fact that if the three of us here, that I'm the only one that drives.
Yeah, but even if I could drive, the likelihood of me ever driving any of those cars is slim to none. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I can't judge it. I can't really judge it off that. So I'm kind of judging off if I was walking down the street, which one would pull my attention. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think the John Wick car would pull my attention more, not because it's the John Wick car, but because just the look of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the look of it more than anything. Like that Aston Martin does look incredible, but I think my eye would be drawn to the Mustang just because of how big it is as well. Like,
yeah.
So, but the deciding vote for me, I do like the Aston Martin DBS, but as I did say earlier on, like Mustangs are my favorite cars.
Like I'd have a muscle car any day.
Yeah.
I think this time, obviously not being a James Bond fan, I think that car is just iconic in cinema.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
And that's what I was rounding back to. That's as you said, if you put those two cars up in the front of those, most people would know the Aston Martin from James Bond. So I think for that purpose, we're going to go with the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Perfectly
Now,
fair.
I mean, like as it says, it could have been a Mustang, it could have been the Shelby GT,
Yeah.
where people might know it. John Wick's car is just happens to be a Mustang that he owns. He could have owned any car,
Mm.
Oh yeah.
although it
Right.
is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all in agreement there, definitely. General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard against Keaton's Batmobile.
Batmobile, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one kind of hurts a little bit though.
See, I was never a huge Dukes of Hazzard fan anyway, so it doesn't
The
hurt me that
horn.
much. And like I don't. The Keaton car is fucking the Keaton Batmobile is deadly. But it's not my favorite Batmobile. It's too long or something. I don't know. It's just too long.
Takes
Too-
up about 4 parking spaces.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really like it feels like real skinny and just long, whereas the other ones are like bulky. Do you know what I mean? Like they're more and
More
sometimes
like tanks, actually.
no, well in
He had a
Bale's
tank at one stage.
no, in Bale's ones, yeah, they're more like tanks. But I'm even thinking about, say, the cartoons or even the Adam West one. Like they're kind of more muscle cars, like they're like a sleek muscle car, like wider but like very sleek and slimmed down. Like,
Yeah.
so I'd go the Batmobile here over the Dukes of Hazzard, but
It's gonna struggle
Nice.
maybe soon.
I think it'll probably, well, for me, it'll probably struggle. Although, that being said, if I saw that car on the street, I'd be like, holy shit, the fucking Batmobile. So maybe
Can I
not.
have a go?
You'd need earplugs. The noise of the bleeding. Right, so Mystery Machine against the Mini Cooper from the Italian Job.
Mystery Machine.
As I said earlier, I love the little Mini Coopers, but if you park up a Mini Cooper and you park up a fucking Mystery Machine, it's only one of them that I'm looking at, and it's that fucking Mystery Machine.
I think Mini Coopers became so
They became very
diluted.
normalized. Yeah.
He did. So here's the final one from this round. It's the Ford Falcon, which was Mad Max, against the Dodge Monaco from the Blues Brothers.
Oh, Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Max Rockefeller.
So that's their lineup. So with
Yeah.
we're down to the quarterfinals now. Sorry,
Yeah.
quarterfinals. Yeah,
Quarterfinals, final eight, yeah.
yeah. And as I said, I had pre-drawn the slots.
Yeah.
So you're going back up to Ecto 1 against the Ferrari from Miami Vice.
I think that one might be in some trouble here. That Miami Vice car is just sick. And I'm not a huge Ferrari guy. But it's going to be the first time I vote. Well, it's actually going to be the second time I vote against Ecto 1 because of the car that it made. In the last round, I thought there wouldn't be many that I'd pick Ecto 1 over. Or not pick Ecto 1 over. But this is another one. I'm going to go Miami Vice here.
Okay.
I don't know. Obviously, Ecto 1 is going to draw your eye because it's not a conventional car.
It's an ambulance.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's an old school ambulance.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's not a conventional car in the sense of, like, the reason it's so iconic is all the stuff that's on it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you took all of that stuff off and just took the car itself, it doesn't really draw my eye.
If you took all that stuff off and left it the same color, you'd have the car that Nicolas Cage drives in Bringing Out the Dead.
Yeah, so the Miami Vice car doesn't need any frills on it to be noticeable.
No.
So I think that's what I'm going to go with here, is that if you took
Ecto 1's going home.
If you took everything off Ecto 1, I probably wouldn't even notice the car. Like, if a car like that drove by me now and they didn't have the Ghostbuster sticker on it, I'd just probably just look at it.
I'm sorry, if you owned it, an Ecto 1 car and didn't have the Ghostbuster sign on the side of it, you deserve a slap.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, if that drove by me, I'd just be like, oh, there goes a car. Whereas if if that Miami Vice car drives by you, you're like, that's a...
Do you ever notice though, Ferraris always turn your head?
Always.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the way that they're not only that's not necessarily even the shape, but the way that they're painted, and
Yeah.
there's something different about how they do that. How Ferrari does it.
Mm.
You know. Right, we go to the next one then. So
Jeez, and that's probably the favorite gone.
well, yeah, I'm surprised at that, but not surprised as well, actually. We have the Aston Martin from Goldfinger against the Ford Falcon from Mad Max.
Oh,
I think Mad Max is running out of petrol here. Um,
oh no.
I'm gonna go the Aston Martin here. I think that turns my head a little bit more than the car from Mad Max. The Mad Max one, again, it's another muscle car, so that'll always kind of swing your head a little bit. Because muscle cars, they're just so big and bulky. You know, you will always be just a quick little look back at them. But that Aston Martin, as you boys said earlier, it's iconic.
Class.
Pure iconic, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just pure and outright class
Mm.
of a car.
Yeah, I think it's massively iconic. So I'd struggle to, like, I know I voted against it earlier, but even then I said, you know, I'd be like, I wasn't upset to see it go through.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the case here. The Mad Max one is very good, but it's kind of a generic muscle car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just got a couple of frills on it.
There's nothing majorly like that, and pretty much any other muscle car. They look very similar. Like if you packed two of them up and you knew nothing about cars, you'd be like, "Oh, the two cars."
That
Do you know
if
what I
you
mean?
park that in Dom's supercharger up,
Yeah,
you're
they're
not too dissimilar.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like they're very similar looking. You're just like, oh, there's two big cars. Whereas that Aston Martin pulls up, you're like, now that's something you don't see every day. Do you know what I mean? Now, not that you see big muscle cars every day either, but
If you
that,
lived in the States, you would.
I don't know that you see them if you live in the States. You'd see them more often than you do here, but I think that Aston Martin is just something you wouldn't see every day. Do you know what I mean? And again, generational in the sense that it's from a very old Bond, but even people like us who aren't huge Bond fans still
They'll not
recognize that
Yeah.
car.
So
Yeah.
it's between the final vote there, have we?
No.
Oh, great. It's a
The Aston
clean sweep.
Martin's getting mine.
Lovely, same.
Yeah, it's just iconic. Probably an all-round better car as well.
Mm. Yeah, it's got like for this particular matchup, it's got everything, hasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. Dodge Charger from Fast and Furious against the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
See, unfortunately, if we had had the Rocket or Max's car against this,
Yeah,
it would have been a hell of a run because obviously they're near enough the same.
yeah,
But to go against the DeLorean, or did you say DeLorean, wasn't it?
yeah. The Dodge Charger against the DeLorean.
The DeLorean is iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Fast and Furious may have 10 films. Back to the Future only has 3, but even one of the Back to the Futures is better than all 10 of the Fast and the Furious.
This is true.
But in terms of the car, again, if I go to 100 people on the street with just the cars and go, who owns which car or what is this from? You're gonna go with the DeLorean all day.
Yeah.
It hurts me because that supercharger is unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, see, again, we're kind of looking at it from kind of a film perspective here as well. So it's not just based on which is the best car. And as I said earlier, like that DeLorean, every time I see one, I'm just like, man, that car is so fucking cool. Like,
yeah, it's like I said to you, like, I mean, we love those films, and then and I know, I'm sure it's the same with you guys. It would have licked a good memory of the film.
I think even without watching the film, right? Like if I could purge the film from my mind so that I'd never seen it, right? I think if I seen a DeLorean out, the fact that the door's open, yeah, I think even that alone, I'd be like, whoa, holy shit, look at that car. I think that would still just be such a draw to me.
Yeah. Right, so the final one, I have a feeling what's going to happen here. It's the Mystery Machine against the Keaton Batmobile.
Yeah, it was struggle to get the Keaton one through the last time for me. I'm
Mystery
gonna stick
Machine.
Mystery Machine here.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Well, that one went a little bit better than I thought. As I said, I would have loved to have seen Max and Dom go 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Just because
Probably have gone Dom if that's what
I'd
had
have gone
happened
Dom
there, I
over the
think.
two, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Surely because the car's in better shape.
That's what I was gonna say. It's a lot cleaner. It's not in bits from being in a
In the desert.
desolate warlike state for the last few years.
So our final four are the Aston Martin, then the Ferrari, DeLorean, and the Mystery Machine. So, and this is how it drew out: Aston Martin versus the Ferrari.
Give me the Aston Martin.
I'm gonna put it to you, King, because I'm gonna go to Ferrari. I think that Ferrari is possibly because it's white, and Ferrari you normally associate red with Ferrari. Do you know, like when someone says Ferrari to me, the first thing I think
red.
of is red, and that white Aston Martin. It's kind of like I was saying with the Batmobiles from like the old kind of like cartoons and stuff. It's like a muscle car. It's wide, but it's sleek. Like it's very like thin at the front and stuff, which just always looks. It's just different to what other things look like.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with that, but I think both are very much.
It's gonna be
iconic.
hard to beat either of those two anyway.
Yeah.
Even with the Mystery Machine or thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with again Aston Martin because both are fucking great cars, and
Yeah.
in terms of, I was never a huge fan of white cars. I'm not saying that that's why I'm picking the Aston Martin now, but like again, pure icon. And I suppose if it was a performance thing, if it was a performance knockout tournament, I'd probably go for the Ferrari, like, you know what I mean? But
oh no, I'd still go Aston Martin over the Ferrari.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think Ferrari might have it on speed, but it depends what the race is. Like if you need to take into account handling and stuff, I think the Aston Martin probably has better handling than that Ferrari.
I mean, if you're gonna go on a race on handling, you've got to pick Paul Walker's car from Fast and
again,
Furious.
they're different tournaments.
Again, though, does that car actually handle that well, or does it handle that well because that's what they needed it to do in the plot of the film?
Oh, I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
No idea.
You know what I mean? Like it handles very well in that film because that's what they needed it to do. Whereas Ferraris are built for speed. Now, this isn't taking into account, you know, the Ferraris that are racing in the Formula One and stuff. But
They're
like
shit though, aren't they?
in general, Ferraris are built for like speed and look, whereas the Aston Martins were built more to actually be driven on the road. Do you know what I mean?
At the time of this recording, did any of you see what happened to the Ferrari in the practice for Las Vegas?
No.
So obviously the Las Vegas Formula One is on the roads, and apparently the Ferrari hit the manhole cover that was loose at 200 miles an hour.
Oh Jesus!
And it clattered off the underside of the car and wrecked it.
Well,
the driver was all right.
Somebody's getting fired.
Yeah.
Whoever's supposed to secure the manhole.
That's who I'm talking about. He's fucking fired.
The bottom of the car, apparently.
Jesus.
No, well, he's fired because that car, like whatever about a normal Ferrari, how much a normal Ferrari is worth. Those cars are those are finely tuned cars that are built for fucking making millions of dollars in races.
Yeah. Imagine hitting the manhole. See, this was the issue. They tried to do what they done in Monaco.
Good luck to that poor cunt who was meant to secure that manhole because he is fired.
You, sir, are out.
Out of here. So, lads, DeLorean against the Mystery Machine.
Mystery Machine. I think it's reached its limit for the DeLorean. I can't keep putting it over.
I think so. It's hard here because, again, if you take the paint job and just put any old paint job on that van, like the Volkswagen van.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do I recognize the Mystery Machine?
It just looks like any other van.
It's a Volkswagen van, but again, that also has a lot of symbolism. I think it's a Volkswagen van, isn't it? Am I
I
wrong in
think it
thinking?
is. Yeah, no, it is a Volkswagen.
Am I just making that up in my head and then everyone's just agreeing with me because I've said it?
No, I think you're right.
You
Um,
have the list of cars there.
Yeah. It's an old Volkswagen van. Yeah.
yeah, so like it has kind of like that's iconic outside of the Mystery Machine as well, in the
It's the
sense that
hippie van, isn't it?
yeah, it's the hippie van, so it does have an iconic kind of history behind it as well.
Yeah.
Like very heavily associated with things like Woodstock and stuff, and not that that should necessarily influence it, but the car is that van in itself is iconic.
Yeah. It is a Volkswagen, by the way. I just checked there just to confirm.
Yeah, but I think paint job is a huge part of the Mystery Machine, whereas the DeLorean, that's just the color of the car. Like you could paint that DeLorean any color you wanted, and it'll just stand out that little bit more to me.
Well, see, I don't think you can paint the DeLorean. That was the thing.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you know, if you went and paid, like if someone was like, I've got $1 million or $1 billion and I want that in red, like they'd find a way to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd still be a fucking DeLorean. Like,
I think your argument or your points there probably have swayed my vote back. You take the paint off it and it's just a van.
Yeah. Now again, you can make the counter argument of, well, then it's not the Mystery Machine, is it? But I think.
But I suppose that was the same thing we used for Ecto 1, so you could have turned around and said
you could use the same argument against Ecto 1 as well, yeah. So I'm going to go with the DeLorean because of that. But I think the argument again can be made for the Mystery Machine that, like, oh yeah, but if you bought that car, you could just paint it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But there's nothing stopping you from just painting it.
I think you've swayed my vote back.
So we've a clean sweep for the DeLorean, yeah?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
You got me, yeah, because yeah, you're right. The look.
So, yeah.
It says you take the paint off.
And it hurts me to do that because I would have liked to back the Mystery Machine from the very start on this. Because I actually think it is one of the most iconic things, but it's iconic because of the flamboyant colors, and obviously then big Mystery Machine written on the front of it, and then the show it's associated with. But yeah, out on the street, I think, you know, if you can remove the paint from a car, then yeah, you look
like you'll see that pull up and it'll say free sweets inside.
Free sweets.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like if that pulled up and it wasn't painted, it could just be, you know, like it could be painted something different, like just loads of flowers and leaves and stuff like that, and a lot of fucking
surfboards on the top.
Yeah, a lot of lads from the 60s who smoked way too much weed in their life could come tumbling out of it with a big puffy cloud of weed, and I'd be like, oh, all right then.
Remember that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? They done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically the Mystery Machine was doing it, but they just had to wait until, you know, they just had to wait until Fred and the two girls had left, because then Shaggy was lighting her up. He was.
So we have our final. Do you want to do a third and fourth place?
It's gonna be a Mystery Machine for me.
Ferrari or Mystery Machine?
I think I'd go Mystery Machine. I think I could use the argument, but if I'm gonna have to put something into third, I'm gonna make sure that
we backed it as far as we could here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put the Mystery Machine in, even if I could use the argument to get away from it. I'm gonna be like, nah, but I still want it on the podium, you know.
I think it did very well to get to third place. Actually, excuse me. I think it did very, very well.
Are we boring you there, King?
No, you're not boring me.
I think this is where it got that far, possibly on being swayed by the love of the show and the film and stuff like that.
I think for me as well, obviously the kids watching it now, I'm like, yeah, you do realize even the cartoons were so well done.
Yeah,
even the new ones are well done to an extent.
They are, and the fact that Matthew Lillard has basically just agreed to forever be the voice of Shaggy, like
what a man.
Yeah. They cast him. They were like, "Oh, actually, we made the perfect casting. Let's just make him be the voice in all the cartoons as well. Lovely.
Brilliant. So our final tonight is the Aston Martin versus DeLorean, which I think is quite apropos. Yeah.
So Bond and Doc Brown.
Yeah, I think this vote's easy for me. I've voted against that Aston Martin more than like once or twice here, and I've backed that DeLorean from the hilt. So I'm going to stick with the DeLorean, because I think the argument that we've used for the Aston Martin is if you put it out in front of 100 people or 1,000 people, people would go, oh, that's that from that, and that's that from that, and the Aston Martin would have won out a lot of the times there. Whereas I don't think that argument holds against the DeLorean, because I think people will just go, oh, that's the car from Back to the Future. Now, obviously, the fact that it has the doors that open up, if you took that feature away from it, you probably wouldn't notice it. But then it's not, well, I guess it still technically is the DeLorean, but like that was the main feature of that car.
When it gets to 88 miles an hour, you're gonna see some shit.
Yeah, but like one of the main features was the fact that it opened up like that. So I'm still gonna stick with that. But I think even if it does drop to second place here, it's it's dropping to a worthy adversary here.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna drop for me. It's gonna hold on here.
Wow, so it's to get a clean sweep.
Yeah. Oh no, if it's getting a clean sweep, I'll give it to the Aston Martin just for not being a clean sweep. No, it's gonna be a clean sweep. The DeLorean, as much as it's a piece of shit, and I've voted against it a few times, in terms of iconic cinema moments. The Aston Martin was in one James Bond, where the DeLorean is.
I think the Aston Martin might have been in two, maybe three, but I think it's more like the
It was the main car. It was the main car in one.
Yeah, whereas the DeLorean is basically it's basically a character.
I was just gonna say it's another character. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's not like and they have a car. It's an actual it's a part of the film. Without that, the film, without that, the film is just kind of not there.
And I think the DeLorean had to work because it was stainless steel as well to make the electric.
Yeah, to make the jump and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
so there we go. I think in terms of the name of the show, iconic cars, screen cars, I think that's very appropriate for that. Either one of those won actually. So
yeah.
I
think I'm sure now if there's something that I forgot car wise, I'm sure there is. If you want to tell us on the comments, let us know which ones you would have had in there.
You can email it to the king there. He done the list.
Yeah, bring it all to me. I'm the complaints department this week.
The shredder.
Yeah, but I think that was a very
good. The one that was missing was the Turtles van.
I was literally just about to say that after I said shredder. I was like,
I was thinking about it, and I was also thinking about the Addams Family hearse and the Beverly Hillbillies fucking thing as well. There's loads I could have done, but I thought that they were the.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that they would have gotten any further.
No, it would have been more of a novelty type thing.
Yeah, I think you're going a lot more novelty there than you are
iconic looks and images and.
Yeah, the Addams Family might have been that, and maybe the Turtles would have been the only other one.
There's probably a few there that we're just not thinking of off the top of our heads. Yeah. And if we sat down and thought about it for another day or two, there's probably a lot of cars that you'd be like, oh, well, that could go in there, that could go in there. But again, if we would they have beaten what one is the question. And if the answer is no, then does it really matter?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think on that note, we'll end up tonight. What do you think, boys?
Absolutely.
That was an enjoyable episode, I have to say. Thanks for taking part on my choice. I don't know where we're going to go next, but we'll have something very fun, I'm sure.
We'll figure it out.
Well, the next reel will be in some way Christmas related, because obviously we've gone into December, so we'll have to decide between ourselves what we want to do and who's going to do up the list. But obviously outside of that, the boys have On the Slab, which is for your horror shows, so film reviews, interviews with actors, directors,
Everything and anything in between.
yeah, like pretty much anything. There's been a lot of guests on it. We do film reviews, a few episodes just of top tens or our favorites from a certain decade,
We also
genre,
have
or whatever.
our review from For the Love of Horror that we went to earlier on in the month.
Yeah, that was put up as well. That was really good, actually. Really enjoyed it, which is where I got this lovely crow.
It's a lovely,
Lovely long sleeve
from the wonderful people at Hell On Shirts.
Yeah, they didn't have it the first day. I was very disappointed, and then they had it the second day, so I wasn't too annoyed. And then obviously ourselves, our other shows in Retrotainment Recast, where we take older films and recast them using actors and actresses of today.
The original idea, just put it out there. The original idea.
Again, came from Sick Note. He's not here today, but the original idea came from him as well. He reached out to me and Greg and said he wanted to do that, and we jumped at it. So
the name came almost instantly to us.
Yeah, so don't forget to check out those shows as they go up as well. And until next week, lads, good luck.
Peace.